Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wish to share with you a Zen story from which I drew out a few management lessons. Now the real meaning of this story could be something different for you, but for the purpose of this video, I focused more on what I could learn in terms of management because I feel that this is an innovative way to teach important management lessons to everyone because management is present everywhere and it's not just limited to only the people who run businesses. So if you learn a few important management lessons, you could use them whenever time comes. You could be a student who organizes events, you could be a businessman, you could be a partner at the firm. Be as it may, management still remains an indispensable part of our daily lives. So this is an ancient Zen story from the time when monks used to travel from city to city, town to town, and village to village, and perhaps sometimes even countries to propagate and learn more about Buddhism. So while traveling, they always needed some place to stay. And since we know that they always lived on the donations that they used to receive, their resources were quite limited. So any wandering monk can remain in a Zen temple provided he makes and wins an argument about Buddhism with the ones who live there. If he is defeated, he has to move on, and if he wins, he can continue staying there. Now the reason I think is that if a person is capable enough to win an argument, means that the ones already living there need to learn from him, and if he is unable to win the argument, it means that he's got a lot to learn and therefore his journey must continue. Once in the northern part of Japan, there were two brother monks who used to live together in the temple. The elder one was a learned and a wise man, but the younger one was dull and stupid, and he could only see with one eye because the other eye was damaged due to some childhood mischief. So a wandering monk reached their temple and asked for lodging, and according to the custom, he properly challenged them to a debate about the sublime teaching. The elder brother was very tired from the day's work and because of a lot of reading, so he told the younger one to take his place. He said, "Go and request the dialogue in silence," he cautioned. So the young monk went and found the stranger, and they proceeded to the shrine and sat down. After a while, the traveler rose and went inside to meet the elder brother. He said, "Your young brother is a wonderful person. He has defeated me." Feeling surprised and curious, the elder one said, "Would you please relay the dialogue to me?" "Well," explained the traveler, "first I held up one finger representing Buddha, the enlightened one. So he held up two fingers signifying Buddha and his teaching. I held up three fingers representing Buddha, his teaching, and his followers living the harmonious life. Then he shook his clenched fist at my face, indicating that all three come from one realization, and thus he won. So I have no right to remain here." With this, the traveler left. Suddenly the younger one rushed inside and said, "Where is that fellow?" To which the elder brother calmly said, "I understand you won the debate." "Won nothing. I'm going to beat him up," said the young brother, with clear and visible frustration. The elder brother was clearly perplexed now. He said, "Well, tell me the subject of the debate." So the younger brother said, "Why, the minute he saw me, he held up one finger, insulting me by insinuating that I have only one eye. Since he was a stranger, I thought I would be polite to him, so I held up two fingers, congratulating him that he has two eyes. Then the impolite wretch held up three fingers, suggesting that between us we have only three eyes. So I got mad and was going to punch him, but he ran out and that ended it." And so the elder brother stood there silently, clearly filled with disappointment and exasperation. Alright, so this is how the story concluded. Now there are a few management lessons that we can all learn from this story. And the first lesson is about arguing. If you observe, there were two different levels of people who were arguing, and one of them was clearly a fool. When you argue with an idiot or a fool, he or she can only reach a limited level. You cannot expect them to reach the level that you're talking from. And if you continue to argue, you may end up wasting your time and energy. We encounter people of different levels of intellect, and therefore we must always be cautious when dealing with such fools, because when you argue with them, you put in a lot of efforts and time and energy, and the other person is unable to reach that level because of obvious reasons. Then you end up paying the price. Even in this story, if you observe that the wise monk had to pay the price because he left the temple thinking that he lost the debate, when in fact it was him who had won the debate. Unfortunately, he paid the price in the end. Another management lesson that we can learn is related to the concept of delegation of authority. We see that A superior should always be wise enough to assign the task to a suitable subordinate. In this situation, because of his personal limitations, the elder brother had to assign the task to the younger one, who was incompetent. Similarly, in an organization, the superior must always be cautious about whom he delegates authority to. This is because incapable subordinates could lead to disasters and blunders, and sometimes damaging the organization as a whole. The next lesson that we can learn from this is not just a management lesson, but also a lesson that we can apply in day-to-day lives, and that is about prejudice. Now, when talking with others, you must be aware that people tend to have prejudices and preconceived notions about everything, and you should be mindful not to do that yourself as well. Be cautious in dealing with people who do the same. Now, in this case, the younger brother thought that the stranger was making fun of his eye and his blindness, and this was probably because in past some people would have made fun of him, and because of those events there was a prejudice in his mind, and the first thing that came to his mind was related to his eye. So he could not understand the true meaning behind it and only thought what was most convenient for him to believe. The next lesson we can learn is the communication flow breakdown. When you study communication in management and linguistics, you will see that every conversation or every communication has got a proper flow. Now, there are elements of a conversation like sender, receiver, medium, feedback, and so on. And if the chain breaks down, the communication is damaged. And if the chain breaks down, the communication is flawed. So when managing your organization, you must always be careful about the flows of communication that take place in your organization. If there is improper communication, if some person is exceeding their authority in communicating certain things, the organization must take instant action, and the organization must instantly act when they notice a communication breakdown. And in this case, the elder brother instructed the younger brother to have the dialogue in silence. So we see that the medium of communication that was chosen was faulty. The foolish brother was clearly incapable of having a conversation with sign language. Similarly, putting the analogy, if some elderly person in an organization is entrusted with some task and the only communication medium that is available to him is by emails, then there may be difficulties that the elderly person would face. This will also result in the wastage of time and resources, and every time someone comes and helps him with the process, there will be double wastage of time and thus affecting the efficiency of the employees. Alright, so these were some quick lessons from the Zen story, and I hope you found them helpful. Do share this video with friends and family, do subscribe to my channel, and keep watching out this space for more informative videos. Thank you so much.